So Danny Flexen for Seconds Out, delighted to be joined by Rachel Ball. Rachel, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good, thank you.
We just have to point out for clarity's sake that Rachel's not in San Francisco at the
I'm
moment.
not, I don't know how the background happened, um, but it's probably a bit more better than my bed. So we can stay there. We'll keep it.
Fair enough. Before we get on to kind of more recent news, the big story more recently in August was you beating Shannon Courtenay. Now, I don't want to take too much away from it, but a lot of people did think that you were gonna win. You know, you were kind of the favourite outsider, if you like, over the whole of fight camp. I think a lot of money went on you before the show. Did that kind of put extra pressure on you that you were being tipped quite a lot as the underdog most likely to upset the odds?
I mean, I knew I was being heavily backed by everyone at home, heavily, like a lot of people, probably the majority of my people back at home all put a bet on me. So I think it was probably them not who swayed the odds, to be honest with you. But I think when you fight away from home, it's almost like you're carrying all their support with you. So it's quite a big deal when you fight away from home. For me, I feel like they're all 100% with me there, even though I can't hear them.
And when it was obviously a gripping fight, everyone really enjoyed it. Got a lot of plaudits. At the end, before the decision was announced, how confident were you? Not that you'd done enough to win, because I'm sure you felt confident of that, but that you'd actually get the decision.
You never know, do you? I've been in this situation before, and these decisions are what they are. Um, so yeah, I thought I definitely should get the decision, and obviously I did, and it was the right thing to happen. But you never know, and I thought, come on, yeah, it's got. I was just thinking, come on, come on, come on, it's got to be in my hand that's going up, So that was my kind of thoughts at the time, really.
How did you celebrate?
Um, but we went back to the bubble, and I ordered a pizza, and that was about it. Really.
Sounds
There
wonderful,
was,
yeah.
there was yeah, there was nothing much else to do, and Gav was like, "Come on, let's have a drink." And it got to a point I was like, "I'm just gonna get to bed, Gav. I'm really tired." So there wasn't much celebrations, but I've enjoyed catching up with my friends in August before I knuckled down to business again. Yeah.
And did you and Shannon say much to each other after the fight? You know, like I say, it was a great fight, compelling to watch. Were there kind of mutual respect afterwards?
I went in to see her afterwards. I don't think she wanted to see me, to be honest. But I showed my respects and I said, no, it's a great fight. She said that she wanted the rematch. I said, okay, so we'll see what happens. And I, gave her a hug. That's about it. To be honest, I didn't see her at all. No, I tell a lie. I saw her in the bar afterwards, but after that, like I didn't really see her around the hotel or anything before we left. So that was kind of how we left it, really.
And just before we carry on, you're edging off the end of the bridge a little bit. I have to let you
Oh,
know.
sorry.
Yeah,
There we
yeah, that's
go.
better. No, that's perfect. Um, how long afterwards did you catch up with Matchroom and the team there, and what were their plans for you immediately after the victory over Shannon Courtney?
Well, Eddie said that he did want to work with me, and obviously he's kind of fulfilled his promise, and he's been in talks with my manager, and that information's kind of been filtered down to me, really. So I was pleased that obviously that's why it was such a big deal, was because it's on the biggest platform and that's where you want to be fighting. So yeah, he said that he wanted to work with me, and we've been in talks ever since. Really, it was probably so we had fight week 4 afterwards. We let that go, and then it was kind of phone calls were coming in. Really,
So you haven't had much time to rest then out of the gym.
no, I mean, like I had like a couple of weekends off. Went away with my friends and stuff like that. But yeah, I just wanted to get back and get busy as soon as possible. Really. So I did have a bit of downtime. I haven't like got straight in the gym and haven't exhausted myself, but yeah, it's probably it was mid September. I was like, right, really knuckle down, let's go, kind of thing.
And it sounds like that hard work's paid off, at least at the moment. Obviously, the fight hasn't
Mhm.
happened yet, but Just tell people out there what your next fight's going to be and what it's for, because you told me off camera, and I thought you were winding me up at first, not because of you necessarily, but because more so who the opponent was and what's at stake. So tell people out there what the case is.
So it's myself versus Ebanie Bridges from Australia, and it's for a world title.
And it's the vacant WBA bantamweight belt, I believe.
But yeah, I believe so. Yeah. So it's at bantamweight. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to chop a limb off to make weight, but yeah, we'll do it. It's fine.
Yeah, that aside, things will be fine. Because you came in, although it was listed as I think a bantamweight bout initially against Shannon Courtenay, it was closer to feather as it turned. Actually, no, it's listed at super bantam, but it turned out to be close to feather. Was the weight increased on the week of the fight in the end, the limit that you guys agreed to?
No, I think it was a week or two after the fight was agreed.
Right.
And I've got a phone call saying, she's not going to make the weight. It'll be 9 stone 1. I said, okay, that's fine. Because I was kind of nearly there anyway, to be honest, with my weight. So I was like, okay, let's start eating a bit more. So that was quite nice. It was something different I've never really had in a fight camp. So it was nice. I was well fed, and I still came in under. I didn't mean to come in that under, but at the same time, I did want to prove that I can make these lighter weights.
Now, there will be people out there, detractors if you like, who will say, given the experience levels of both yourself and Ebanie Bridges, is a world title right for this level of fight? The flip side to that is there's not a massive depth yet in the lower weights in the female pro game. So what would your response to that be?
You know what? I think it's the fans. It's the fans that have called this. For Ebanie to be fighting here in the UK, 100%. She's got a massive backing in the UK fans, probably more than me, to be honest. And I live here, so yes, they've been saying, Eddie, get her over here, get her fighting. So Eddie's gone. Okay, then let's do it. Let's go. I presume that's what his reaction was.
And have you been able to see much of her fights out there on YouTube and so on?
I've seen one of her fights, and that's about it really. It was the latest one in America, so I mean, me and Ebanie, we are mates basically, and we've both been following each other for 2 or 3 years, so we've seen bits of each other on the pads and stuff like that over the years.
Given the respective levels of experience and quality of opposition, especially as pros, given who you've been in with and she's been in with, you're going to go from being a decent-sized underdog against Shannon to being probably a healthy favourite in this one. Which do you prefer?
Oh, I don't know. I think you can't read too much into it, can you? You just got to focus on the fight, and you can never take your eyes off the ball really with any opponent. Anything can happen. We saw that in the Dillian White fight. Anything could happen. So yeah, I've just got to focus on the fight. I can't really think about too much. I think I am going to really enjoy the build up, especially when I know a bit more about what to expect. But yeah, I'm just keeping focused on the fight and not really thinking too much aside from that really.
And have you got a when and a where yet?
Yeah, the 14th of November.
Okay. Oh, so that's the Katie Taylor show, right?
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. So that gives you, where are we now? 4th of October. So that gives you about 6 weeks from now to prepare.
Yeah.
But when did you actually accept the fight?
I think it was about a couple of weeks ago. It was really funny actually, because me and Ebanie were both doing an interview for a podcast, and they asked, "Would you fight each other?" We were like, "Yeah, it's business as usual." Didn't think anything of it, and then the phone rang about a few days later, and I was like, "You are kidding me!" Like, I just didn't expect it.
So you got 8 weeks to prepare. Are you comfortable with that? It's quite a long build up for you, I guess. Probably more than you had against Shannon, right?
For the Shannon fight, I was keeping ready anyway. My manager said to me the phone calls are going to be ringing, because we knew that they needed domestic fighters, in the UK. So it was like, keep ready, and that's what I did, and I'm glad I did, because those are the fighters that have had the opportunities, the ones who stayed ready. So yeah, I think it's I can't remember. It was a bit of a blur because it was lockdown, really, wasn't it? So.
If we're unable to get fans back in by then, obviously it's November, so we don't know for sure at the moment. do you think your experience of being in fight camp behind closed doors will stand you in good stead?
I think so. Yeah, I think there's probably times in the Courtney fight where the crowd may have pushed me a little bit more, especially after the knockdown, and I didn't, as a learning and reflective point, I didn't really capitalize on the fact that I've just knocked her down. I could have really capitalized on it, and I didn't. I think if the crowd would have been there, perhaps that would have pushed me. But I think you just got to get on with it. Personally, I mean, I don't know any information about whether the crowds are going to be allowed in or not. It's the government, isn't it? But I don't think there will be crowds. That's just my opinion. I don't think there will. So it's one of those where we've just got to get on with it. And I suppose with fight camp, because it was outside, so that was just weird in itself, But being indoors, I think that will be a bit more weird without the crowds, I think.
Did you ever think, I don't know, a year ago that you'd be in this position a year later? Because you had that really good showing out against Tanders, and I think a lot of people were impressed with that.
Mm-hmm.
But then she went on, obviously, to win the interim belt way up at Super Feather as well. So did you kind of see it so soon in your future that you challenge for a world title?
I didn't even think I'd get the opportunity. I think last year, I think I was really thinking, what's the point? What is the point? Selling tickets, really hard work. And it was like, for what kind of thing? It's really hard graft. And I think I was almost getting disheartened. But, I'm glad I stuck to it. And, I didn't think I'd be fighting on these massive shows. No way. No way. It's kind of thing that you see other people doing and like, oh God, it's me. Like I'm doing it, it's amazing.
Well, I think until now, the female kind of underdog story has been Terry Harper going from her background to winning a world title. But you'll knock that out the park, really, won't you? I mean, given where you were, like we said, a year or 2 years ago to where you could be in 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, me and Terry, I think we signed over and turned over about the same time, give or take maybe 6 months or something. But obviously, she had a lot more experience in the amateurs and stuff, and I don't think she made it onto Team GB and things like that. But she still did have a really really good amateur career. So it's fantastic the way her career's panned out for her, and everyone's career is different, isn't it? And obviously, I did take a loss, which some people can look down on as well, perhaps for these big opportunities. So,
and just before I let you go, it's kind of slightly different topic. Obviously, we'll talk loads about your world title fight, and I'm really genuinely delighted for you, by the way.
thank you.
Someone you fought before, Bet Conley, had a really good fight with. She's the debut opponent for Ellie Scottney, we found out a couple of days ago. What do you make of that fight? It seems like a stern test for a debut.
Yeah, I think it's that they must have a lot of faith in her, and I'm sure she has got a lot about her. But I must admit, I haven't seen any of her fights, and I'm sure she has got a lot about her. But it is a very very bold move. Usually, it's a foreigner, who's there kind of to survive. So yeah, I'd agree. It's a very bold move, but fair play to them. They're just cracking on with it because they could be waiting for how long for an easier fight. So I wish them both all the best luck in the world. I think it'll be a brilliant fight. At least it'll be a good, strong, challenging fight for both of them. I think it'll be a good one.
Great stuff. And just before I let you go, we asked you this the first time we interviewed you, but to give people another chance, because everyone's going to want to jump on the bandwagon now, how can the fans out there find you on social media?
So on my Instagram, I'm at Rachel_ProBoxer, and my Facebook page is at Rachel Pro Boxer, and my Twitter is Rachel Ball. Oh God, I can't. You know what? I don't even use Twitter that much, and it's something like Rachel Ball 91. There's an underscore I think thrown in there somewhere. Yeah, I can't remember it. That's really bad.
They'll find you. They'll find you. It'll be okay. Right, great stuff. Well, really, really appreciate your time. Apparently, it's going to get officially announced probably while we're talking on the Buatsi Khalid show. But very best of luck with the rest of the preparations. Can't wait to watch it. Be a great story if you get the job done as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Rachel. Bye-bye.
Cheers.